Making the NBA has been a dream for so many players. How about averaging over 14 points and 9 rebounds in an 11-year NBA career? This was the story of a Lebanese guy who traveled to Greece after the start of the Lebanese Civil War. After he had played for the American school in Athens for a year, he went to the States, where he played for Syracuse University for 4 years before moving to the NBA, where he played for the Miami Heat, the Golden State Warriors, the Orlando Magic, and the New Jersey Nets. In 2000, his basketball career came to an end in Barcelona. He was known by the nickname of the Spin Doctor. Rony Seikaly on LBA Action. Next. Rony, I would like to start with the first section, which is about your NBA career. If we go back to the 1988 NBA draft, you were selected as the 9th overall pick, and you were the first draft pick ever in the history of the Miami Heat franchise. What does this achievement mean to Rony Seikaly? And did you have any pre-draft workouts, by the way?
The Miami Heat select Ron Seikaly from Syracuse University.
Well, it was always my dream to play in the NBA, and when I finished my college career, I was expecting to be drafted, but I never thought that I would be drafted this high, or by Miami, which is the city that I wanted to play for and to live in. So it was a dream come true, and in those days, we didn't really have a pre-draft. It's because everybody stayed in college and everybody played 3 or 4 years in college before going to the NBA. So everybody knew how everybody plays just from watching you in college. So that day was a dream come true, and nobody can ever take that away from you.
From the American School in Athens, Greece, a sophomore at 6'10", wearing number 4, Rony Seikaly. Starting at center, wearing number 4 at 6'11.5" from Syracuse, Rony Seikaly.
Now, Rony, we already posted as LBA Action last March that you had the franchise record for the Miami Heat with 34 rebounds against the Washington Bullets. Even though all-star centers like Shaquille O'Neal and Alonzo Mourning played for the Heat as well, your record still stands today. What do you think?
Well, I think it's really an amazing feat that such great players as Shaquille and Alonzo Mourning have been the centers for Miami, and they haven't broken the record. You know, usually records are meant to be broken. Everybody eyes your record so they can break it. But my record has been standing for 20-something years, 22 years or something, or 23 years. 24 years, whatever it is, through all these days. And I have a lot more records that are also part of the Miami Heat organization that has not been broken yet. So some of them are, I have the most 20 points, 20 rebounds games. I think I have like 21 of those 20 points, 20 rebound games. So nobody got close to those either. So I still have my place in Miami Heat history, and it makes me feel proud, and I just see who's gonna be the next guy that breaks it.
I have a feeling that Rony Seikaly could bust out for a big game tonight. What a half for Seikaly. 10 points, 15 rebounds. Seikaly, offensive rebound, and slam. A terrific power move for Seikaly.
Now, Rony, as a lot of NBA fans know, especially those who followed well the NBA in the 90s, you faced 6 of the best centers in NBA history. I already mentioned Shaq and Zoe. You also faced Akeem Olajuwon, Patrick Ewing, David Robinson, and Dikembe Mutombo. Which of these centers was the toughest to guard, and against which one of them did you have the best memories?
Well, back in those days, I mean, those were some great players, and then the second-rate centers were also amazing players as well. But I can honestly tell you that Akeem Olajuwon was by far the hardest person to guard and the hardest person to play against because he was very quick and he didn't really have a weakness in his game, so you couldn't exploit his weakness. He was an amazing player. The other guys were also amazing, but each one had his own weakness, and you can kind of exploit their weaknesses. But I've had great memories against all of them, especially against Patrick Ewing because we played against each other from college when he was at Georgetown, I was at Syracuse. So we had our wars from early on in my career.
Fakes him out of his shoes and dunks it in over him. What a move by Seikaly. The up fake lost Ewing's balance, and Rony Seikaly with a hook shot stuff on Ewing.
Now let's move to the second section, which is related to the Lebanese basketball. As Lebanese fans know, you joined the Lebanese national team in 1999 West Asia Championship after getting the exclusive permission from FIBA, since you already played for the American national team back in 1986. Now let's start with a debate that took place on social media back in 2015 when Fadil Khatib did not accept to join the Lebanese national team for 2015 FIBA Asia because the Lebanese Federation did not ensure his contract in the Chinese league. Some people praised you, Rony, for playing for the Lebanese national team despite your injury. Others said that the Lebanese Federation ensured your contract with the New Jersey Nets back then. What do you say, Rony? Did the Lebanese Federation ensure your contract with the New Jersey Nets? What is the truth?
Actually, this is a very good topic, and it's about time that people find out exactly the truth. What happened was that the Lebanese national team promised me that they were ensure my injury because they knew that I was playing with a broken foot. So in case something happened in the NBA, they would insure me. But the truth was that they never insured me. And when I finished with the Lebanese national team playing on my broken foot, the New Jersey Nets at the time said that they did not want to honor my contract because they think that I injured my foot playing for the Lebanese national team. They wanted me to rest my foot and rehabilitate instead of playing on it in that summer. And I decided to help the national team and try to play on a broken foot anyway. And obviously it backfired on me, and I ended up in a bad situation.
باسم اللاعبين جميعا أعد بأن نشارك في مباراة بطولة غرب آسيا للرجال وبأن نحترم قوانين بكل روح رياضية لمجد الرياضة ولشرف فرقنا المشاركة فيها.
Talking about the national team, you had the chance to play 4 official games and you led it to its first appearance in FIBA Asia Championship in Japan back in 1999. How can you evaluate this experience in general?
Well, as you know, that turned out to be a terrible experience. First, because I ended up having problem in the NBA by playing in Lebanon. They had never cleared it with the NBA. They cleared it with FIBA for me to play, but they never cleared it with the NBA. So it caused a lot of problems for me. And if I look back, there was a lot of pressure on me to play, even with a broken foot. So if I had to take it all back, of course I wouldn't have played because it wasn't worth the problems that I had to face with when I got back to the U.S.
روني يمين شمال يس يسجل.
Now over the years, the Lebanese national team has been facing the same problem, which is the lack of available tall local centers, while the high-level foreign centers ask for high salaries in order to be nationalized. Some fans of Lebanese basketball on social media blamed the Lebanese Federation for not taking advantage of Rony Seikaly's experience in a way or another. If the Lebanese Federation goes into serious negotiations with you, will it be possible to see you a member of the coaching staff or the management of Lebanese basketball in a way or another? And what kind of long-term plans should the Lebanese basketball follow to overcome the problem at the center position?
Well, the answer to your first question is that I haven't heard from the Lebanese Federation or Lebanese basketball or anybody since the last time I played in those Asian games with a broken foot. None of them checked on to see what happened with my foot. None of them checked to see what the situation was with the NBA and what they can do to help that I got in trouble. They just asked me to play here, and then when everything got bad over there, they never even reached out to me. So I haven't heard from anybody since then. And if this is the way they treat their players, especially an international player that represents them on the highest stage of basketball, who would want to play for them? I mean, this is, they're supposed to take care of their players and pump their players. Me, I never got $1 from the national team to play. I played because it's my country, and I was proud to play even though I was injured. But that's how it should be. People should be willing to play for their national teams. And the second part of your question is, you can easily groom young players early on to help fill that position. It's just a matter of having the right people and the right voices and the right coaches to get to these people.
Seikaly with a fall-away hits another one. That's 29 points for Rony Seikaly.
Rony, as we remember, you supported suggest players on the bench during the 1999 and 2000 Asian Championships for clubs. What can you tell us about these short periods during the era of late President Antoine Choueiri?
I actually supported all Lebanese teams back in those days. I would play, when I come in the summers, I would play with Riyadi, or I would practice with Sages. I had friends on each of those teams. So I just wanted to support the Lebanese basketball movement, and at the time it was going in the right direction, and basketball was becoming really big in Lebanon, the Middle East, and I wanted nothing more than to keep that pace going so we can get other players to start playing under those under those conditions, so they can make the NBA, and so we can be proud of them in the future, and hopefully get as many players as we can to Lebanese local players to the NBA, and to further the game than just playing in Lebanon. And Alim Shantaf and Jassim and Walid Dumyati and all those guys were all very good friends of mine. And we had a great time always playing against each other and with each other.
من أفضل لاعبين الارتكاز يلي مروا بالعالم. Ladies and gentlemen, our NBA player Rony Seikaly.
Let's move now to section number 3, related to technical analysis. Let's talk about Stephen Curry, who was an exceptional case in the last regular season of the NBA especially. Phil Jackson tweeted that Curry's game reminded him of Mahmoud Abdul Rauf, a player that you faced in the 90s. Have you ever seen or faced any player that has a similar game to Steph's, either Mahmoud Abdul or any other player?
Well, Phil Jackson is kind of right that the only player that used to take shots like these was Mahmoud Abdul Rauf, and the reason why he's saying that is because for every shot that the coach cringes at, that you think is a bad shot, is a great shot for Steph Curry. So that's why he's kind of changed the game. Back then, when Mahmoud used to do it, players would get upset and coaches would get upset because this wasn't part of the way that we used to play back then. But in today's world, the game has changed, and you know, what seems to be a bad shot is always a great shot for Steph. I mean, he can shoot it from anywhere, and you would think it's a crazy shot, and then it goes in, which is just incredible.
Rose to Mahmoud, another three. Got it again! Unbelievable! We got a foul as well. A chance for a 4-point play. 41 for Mahmoud. We're in the third quarter. It's official, number 73. The Golden State Warriors.
Now I'm gonna move to the big debate of the last NBA season. Last season, the Golden State Warriors broke the 72-10 record of the 95-96 Chicago Bulls, a team you had faced by coincidence as a Warrior. Technically speaking, can the 2015-16 Warriors beat the 95-96 Bulls? What's your opinion, Ronnie?
I think it's very hard to make a comparison because the game was played differently back then. You were able to hand check on defense. Defense was a lot harder back in the 90s. You were not allowed to go into the lane without getting knocked down. Everybody was hand checked. So the game was much, much more physical back then as it is now. So that's why, you know, I understand the older players saying that the Bulls would beat the Warriors, and I have to agree that, you know, those Bulls are, you know, with Dennis Rodman, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and all those guys that they have. And they also had their shooters, Steve Kerr, which is the coach of the Warriors now, and then John Paxson and all those guys. They had their shooters that can even out with Golden State. But you put Scottie Pippen or Dennis Rodman on defense, you know, the Chicago Bulls played unbelievable defense. So, and they were so quick. So I would definitely think if those two teams matched up both in their prime, I would no doubt think that the Chicago Bulls would win.
He says, watch me take this big guy. Watch me take this big guy. Watch him jump in the lane. There he is. He is. Can he go to the hoop? Yes, he does. A timeout call. He goes into the hoop. Takes a fadeaway, slide-away shot. He's got 38 in the game. That could be the nail in the coffin. Michael putting on what a show here in Oakland. Tommy, watch this. He goes around Sprewell, gets in the lane, runs in by Seikaly, and Sprewell lets it fall and slides across those pants. What a great...
Luke, you hear the crowd already hollering Luke as he goes inside, had it blocked by Seikaly. BJ wants to go one-on-one. Yeah, take him. Inside Seikaly with a reverse.
Beautifully done, and the assist, BJ getting a lot more.
Let's start with the fourth section, which is purely imaginary. It's called What If. If Rony Seikaly was in his prime, who would he play in a one-on-one game?
I would probably play against somebody that's, I mean, it has to be somebody that matches me with me physically. Probably more of the bigger guys. You know, if I was in my prime, I will take any of those big guys that are playing in today's game. I mean, any of them.
Rice into Seikaly. He's got a mismatch down there with Pippen.
It's a three-point opportunity for Rony Seikaly.
Well, right now, the Miami Heat got a couple of good things working for them. Matchups where they can find baskets.
Now, talking about the big guys of today's game, nowadays we have been seeing very few NBA centers averaging about 17 points and 10 rebounds like you did in your prime. Let's imagine if you are playing in the last 6 seasons, I mean since the date Shaq and Yao Ming were done, for example, could you achieve more than you did in the 90s in your opinion?
That there's no doubt that any center that played in my era would destroy the centers that are playing in this era, because nobody plays with their back to the basket. You know, it just that kind of game is dead. Everybody wants to shoot jump shots. Every big guy is going out to the perimeter. The game has changed completely. So if you have a big man that has a strong inside moves, I mean, I used to get those numbers against Patrick and and Hakeem and Shaq and all those guys with a double team and another power forward, with those guys. So it was very, very tough to get those 17 points and 11 rebounds. So in today's game, I think any big guy that has that scored scoring big man back in the day would pretty much have a field day in today's game.
Who was cutting down the middle.
They're doubling Seikaly again, and Seikaly fights his way in for the basket and the foul. He has been troublesome for Phil Jackson and the Bulls this year. A chance for a three-point play.
Now just keep an eye on Michael as he goes baseline here with the bump and then the shooting over. Seikaly coming looking for the shot block. Now right here, he fights the double team, and as Seikaly comes back, he steps right through the double team again. See, this is what they're hoping from this guy, that he'll give them some low post action, give them some rebounds, but he's got...
Ronnie, let's move now to the final section of our interview. It is called Your Picks. Let's start with ESPN, which classified the top 100 NBA players to play the game. According to them, Michael Jordan is the greatest player of all time. For example, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was ranked 2nd, LeBron James 3rd, Kobe Bryant 12th. In your opinion, who are the top 5 players to ever play the game?
It's such a hard question. I mean, I can only tell you the players that I played against and the players that I was around. Magic, Johnson, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Karl Malone, Tim Duncan, Kobe Bryant. All these guys were just amazing players. I don't really know, the players that came before them. I never played against them, so it's tough for me to judge on players that I never played against. And in the modern game, I mean, of course, I see what I see. But I can't place them anywhere. Of course, LeBron James for me is definitely in the top 3, top 4 players ever to play the game, if not second, right behind Michael Jordan, just because of his abilities and what he does every single night. This player, he's never injured. He's always comes up huge in the biggest games, and he's had to carry. I think he's the most scrutinized athlete of all time, because anything he did, he gets criticized. Even when he wins, he gets criticized. So to me, LeBron James, comes in at number 2 because of what he's done. But between Michael Jordan and LeBron James, 2 different players, 2 different styles, but both incredible players.
Working it down, 5 seconds, 4, 3, James scores! He has scored the last 25 points for Cleveland.
One shot. Another free throw for Jordan. There it is, the big 4-0. The first time that a 40-year-old has scored 40 or more points in an NBA game.
We as basketball fans know that trash talk is a part of the ball game. Have you ever been a fan of trash talk? And who was the greatest trash talker you have ever faced in the NBA?
To me, I mean, trash talking is absolutely part of the game. But to me, the ones that are respected trash talkers are the ones that don't talk trash after they do something. They talk trash before they do something. So I remember Larry Bird and Michael Jordan and all those guys that, they never talk trash after doing something, but the fact that they'll tell you, if you're guarding them, they'll tell you, I'm going to go left and I'm going to spin and shoot a jumper in your face. And they go do exactly what they just said. They go left, spin, and shoot a jumper in your face, and then they run down the court and say, I told you so. And that, to me, is more of, the real trash talking that happened back then. It's like you back up what you just said. Michael, Gary Payton, Larry Bird, all those guys were great trash talkers. Reggie Miller, because they did what they said they were going to do.
Mike approached me on the side. He said, welcome to the league, rookie. But I'm going to be the first one to dunk on you. And I told Mike, you never will.
Michael get it forward to the fresh shot clock. MJ. Oh, he did it! Michael shakes the finger. And a technical. He got a technical. But he finally got his dunk on Mount Matumbo.
On December 30th, 1986, in the final moments of a tie game against the Sonics, Bird walked out of the huddle to the man guarding him, Xavier McDaniel, and said,
Yeah, he said, I'm going to get it right here. I'm going to shoot it right in your face.
And that's exactly what he did.
Five, and Bird has the basketball. Look out. Larry Bird, just phenomenal.
Ronnie, you had a lot of achievements as a basketball player, including, for example, the record of rebounds for the Miami Heat franchise in a game, the most improved player, two-time NBA Player of the Week. There are many others. Which one of these achievements is your favorite?
I think my favorite one is the NBA Most Improved Player because I set out a plan to, after my first year, to come back as strong and as fast as I could possibly be, to take advantage of people that are taller than me and weighed more than me and were stronger than me. And, I gave up a few inches to other centers, and I was always at least 10, 15, 20 pounds lighter than other centers. So I wanted to kind of counter that. So I worked my game so I could exploit, playing against people that are bigger than me and or stronger than me. So I worked my ass off that summer to come back and do that. And to be given that award after that year meant so much because, hard work obviously pays off big time.
Scoops it up and hits and draws the foul. A very quick baseline spin. Seikaly with a chance at three.
Now away from basketball, some basketball fans of Rony Seikaly know that he is now a DJ. What can you tell us about your plans in the near future? And do you have any near plan in Beirut?
DJing for me is, it's not really, it's something that I did always since I was a little kid. I always loved music and I always played music. Since I was 14 years old, I had a small little room in my house and I would play music for my friends. So music has always been part of my system. And, to me, sports and music are the two most important things for me, for my mind and body. So it's not something that I just picked up later on. The only thing is that I never thought that I would take this love that I had for music and start playing out in clubs and playing in public. It was always something that I do in private for my friends, and everybody started telling me, do it, start playing out. And I was always hesitant. I didn't really want people to think that, I'm doing something that is kind of trendy, or so I was always against playing out in public. And so, after all these people pushed me to go and do it, I did it. I've done it for many, many years. I've played in all the biggest clubs in the world. It's been a great experience. But I'm going to slow it down a little bit and just go back to what I love, and that's playing music for myself and for my friends. And I have a big radio show in the States. I'll continue doing the radio show. But the actual touring and going to different cities every night was a different club and airplanes, and I'm starting to get tired of that. I just want to pick and choose the events that I want to play, and I want to kind of stop the touring of just always traveling. I know where I like to play. I know where people like the sound of music that I play, so I'll stick to those. And like a place like Garten and Oberhaus in Beirut is one of the places that I would always play at. And then also I have a place in New York and Miami, Los Angeles, Ibiza. So those would be my places. But as far as like touring, I'm going to stop that, because when something stops being fun, then you don't give it your best anymore.
Our interview is coming to an end. At the end of this interview, do you have any message to send to basketball fans in general, to Rony Seikaly's fans in particular? What would you like to say?
I think nothing will make me more happy and proud to have Lebanese young generation coming up and maintaining the level of basketball that is needed to play outside Lebanon. I really want this country to have, a lot of good stuff coming out of it. We need good publicity. We need good athletes. We need something to balance out all the political situations and just have a bright shining star. And I want these kids to work hard and to have a dream and to never give up on their dream. And the dream, whenever whenever you set a dream that's very, very unrealistic, it's all achievable. It's just that the amount of work and effort that you put into it. And you can never feel good about yourself. You only feel good if you go to the gym and you sweat. And this is where your moment is made, not when everybody's watching you, but when nobody's watching and you're in the gym by yourself and working on your game and getting to a point where you're unstoppable, where you have moves, counter moves, where you can defend, where you could do things to actually make a difference in the game. I think there's a lot of skilled players in Lebanon, but I think that they need to push themselves not to be able to play in this league, but in bigger leagues by always pushing themselves to be better and better and better. And I wish that the Lebanese Basketball Federation would put in the time and send these players that have potential to the States and to other places where they can hone their skills and be the best that they can be, because we want more players in the NBA and or in Europe or anywhere where we can actually, finally feel good about ourselves.
Ronnie, thank you so much for your time. It's much appreciated. And I would like to wish you good luck in your career.
Okay, thank you so much. And I wish everybody good luck as well. And I hope that they make Lebanese basketball proud again on the international stage.
Just take a look at Rony Seikaly here in McIlvain going at it. I don't know if you call that a tip. You call that, I got my hand on the ball and winning the basket. It still counts.
الريباوند وين الريباوند بوريس دياو بيحاول على الفاست بريك لورا فورست لبنان بيفوز على فرنسا بيفوز على فرنسا المنتخب الفرنسي عم يخسر مباراته امام منتخب لبنان هيدي هي اكبر مفاجأة بتاريخ بطولة العالم